Hi, Susan.
It's just us so far.
So far, just us.
Wow.
Well, my friend Kelly is supposed to come, but she might be a little bit late, and she's got some really great skills that'll be helpful.
Cool.
Um, someone else said they wanted to see the replay. It's like, well, it's not replays that count.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there's somebody.
Oh, Carol,
Hi,
yay.
Mayana. I can be here for a while. I'm here at work, but I'll be here for a little bit.
Okay, Carol, meet Susan.
Hi,
Hi.
Susan.
So, I'm gonna
I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna go on mute.
okay, we're going to wait well, no, we're not going to wait. We're going to get started because it's time. So let's just take a breath together and set the space that our work will be effective and easy and smooth. And take a deep breath. So I will just share where I am in this moment. I just got off a call with One Divine and the website, so I have some information to share. Her internet was down yesterday, so I have things to share with that. I invited Carol Avalon to join this team because she's a brilliant questioner and has a real organized mind and wise business skills. So, um, yeah, so that's where I am in this moment. Susan, do you want to share where you are? And then Carol, you can share where you are in this moment.
Yeah, I am going to visit a friend of mine tomorrow morning who lives in just a little bit south of the Canadian border in New Hampshire. And I'm looking forward to that. I was just looking through some old photo albums for some pictures for my next Substack and found some pictures of the two of us when we were like 5 and 6 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. She's got some health issues, so I feel like this is my second visit this summer. I feel like I need to visit her as much as I can while I still can.
Yeah.
So that's where
Nice.
I'm
Thank
at.
you. Okay. Carol, where are you at in this moment?
Susan, where are you physically?
Oh, physically, I am in Duanesburg, New York.
Okay. And I'm in Ojai, California. And I am presently inside of a facility called the Sane Living Center, which is a beautiful auditorium that people rent for healing events and for concerts and seminars. So I'm still in the working world. I'm
Okay.
gonna
Hi,
have to get I
Sandra.
have to get that phone. I'm gonna pull it off. I'm gonna
Hi,
mute.
Sandra. We're just saying where we are in this moment.
Great, sorry I'm late. I'm in Pawcatuck, Connecticut. Beautiful sunny day out here.
Okay. So we are recording. I'm going to share my screen and just give an overview of what has been coming through with my meeting with One Divine. Let's see. Share. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I just got off the phone with her. One Divine is working on our branding. She's the one doing the website. This is her Mothership Alliance imagery. We talked about our timeline, the production calendar, and branding and themes, and about an affiliate program, which I don't have screens about the affiliate program tools, but that would be An affiliate would be if someone comes in and they already have a large membership group, that they might get a portion of the membership fees. And we had not discussed that before, so that's a new idea that we can discuss in this meeting or put off to the next meeting.
I'm
For
sorry,
affiliate.
can you say that again? Who would get the fees? Extra
The
fees?
affiliate, an affiliate program tool is if someone has a huge group and they're bringing their whole group online with us, that they might get a percentage of the membership fee. Something for us to think about. Nothing set in stone. So phase one, and these proposed phases for a 10-10 launch. Phase 1, 2, and 3, some aspects of them overlap. They're not individualized. But right now we're in the raising revenue and creating the brand. We're not pre-selling memberships until 9/9. And that's a question that we'll want to talk about. If we pre-sell memberships, what are the benefits for a pre-sale that someone would get? Do we have freebies that we give them for signing up early? Do we have a limited number of memberships that are pre-sale memberships at a different price that have different benefits? You know, just things to think about here. Then she's doing the brand and build. She's setting up our high-level account next week, which is the website itself. Carol had asked a question about our courses and how our training and events and things are hosted. Are they on this website, or do we have to have another outside partner? And they will be on this website. That will be a part of it. The scheduling will be on our website. So I'm going to send you all this so you can look at it later. Just going to go through it quickly right now. So these are the targets. We're branding and setting our theme and figuring out our membership this week. Next week, we have to, by next week, we provide to her our membership levels, pricing, and parameters, and talk about our landing page. Week 3, we finalize the homepage and the membership page. She's going to create a video and promo assets and begin things we can share. And the mission, vision, values group is meeting and should have all of that finished up for us to use this week, which is really valuable. We really need that because we can't really fundraise without a mission statement. So that's coming quickly. So here's what she's looking at for branding. This is the first idea of it. She thought that this symbol, because it's hearts and it's multidimensional and it's the seed with the 5-pointed feminine star, she was suggesting this in gold that we can use as gold foil for printing. We could make pins, we could make necklaces, we could embroider it. There are all kinds of things we could do with a simple symbol like this. And she was looking at pinks and greens and golds for our branding. I'm going to go to one more page and then we'll be able to talk about that a little bit more in depth. So this is kind of what it might look like in applications, like on a card. She was suggesting on the backs of the cards, if we just have a Global Grandmothers card, on the back of it could be images of grandmothers or grandmothers from different cultures, or we could have a variety of different images on the backs of these cards. Like pick a grandma. So, and the font is Verdana and Montserrat Medium, which would be in our Canva that we can all work together on in the Canva group. And if you're not in the Canva and you haven't received a link, I will send the link out to join the team when I send out the minutes from this meeting. So I'd love to get your take on these. I want to hear from you now from this point.
I like it.
Good. Good. Susan, what do you
I mean,
think?
yep.
You're muted, Susan.
Unmute. I was printing out the Google Doc, so I had to mute myself. Yeah, I like it a lot. Pink isn't my color. I kind of go towards purples and lavenders, but I'm assuming that pink and purple and that kind of thing, I mean, you know, it's not just going to be, I'm talking about not for this, but for colors that are predominant on the website in the other, in the different sections, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can add lots of colors, absolutely.
yeah.
And right. This would be for the landing and our logo. And there's over here, she had another one. I didn't like this font at all. This GGCN font, I don't
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
it.
Can you
Yeah.
go back to the other one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
And then these are this one on the left. This one would be the one that has the font that I prefer.
Which,
And
Verdana?
Verdana.
Yeah, I think I like that one the best, actually.
Yeah. So this way we can put the words around it when we need to. We can put the words in a straight line if we need to for a different application. We'll need to have circles and squares and rectangles and all of those things. Oh, Carol, you're back on. I don't know if you saw this one right here. Love to get your take on these branding colors and symbols. You're muted.
I definitely like the green and I guess you would call it gold or tan. I don't love that pink and white. I don't love the pink and white. I don't know what you were going to do with that, but I don't love that one. But the green and tan, I like the gold on the green.
Right.
Yes. What would you like instead of pink?
What were you going to use the pink one for?
Well, we haven't decided what we're using anything for yet. So
Oh,
here, let me show you this. As she was looking at the colors and branding, these are the colors that she was suggesting and images that could go with it.
mhm. Well,
Yeah,
I definitely like the top green gold with the white lettering going around the circle. That one really looks good. I don't love the pink for anything. I don't know, it's just pink. It's just
Okay, well, Susan, you
I
weren't
don't
fond
think
of the pink either.
it doesn't feel like a strong statement color. The other one feels stronger.
yeah. How would you feel about a purple or a deeper lavender? Would that work?
I don't know why
Now,
not.
is that too trendy? I don't know. I'd have to see it. I
Yeah.
mean, wait, is there anything else that she or you have looked at as what's out in the world right now? What's trending?
No.
Pink is a really popular color, but it never has been my color.
Which color?
Pink. It's like,
No, it just
you know,
no.
it's just like,
Just doesn't feel. It feels like maybe Gwyneth Paltrow and Goop or something. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
Well, we're talking about the garden and flowers in the garden. So, we're talking about grandmother's garden. Would red be better than pink?
Yeah, definitely would be stronger.
Sandra and Susan, what do you think?
But what would you? But again, are you talking about the color that's going to be like your forever branded color?
For now, yeah, for the website, yeah.
And you're choosing between the green gold and the red gold, or it's like I would just stop with the green gold and land on that.
Yeah, I think it's strong. I don't think we're married to pink as a predominant color throughout the website, but we are going to be labeling a lot of different channels, right? A lot of different baskets or buckets.
Yes.
So pink might be one of them. My suggestion is that we don't get hung up on it. I vote for the green background, gold design. I really like that, and the simple white print. What else does she need from us in terms of I like the Verdana.
Mhm.
I wouldn't get married to the Verdana, to the pink either. But I think
Okay.
if we spend too much time right now on it, we're going to miss what our mission is today.
I agree, Sandra. Let's just keep
Yeah.
moving.
Okay.
Let's keep
Okay.
moving.
We'll just share that.
That looks
that
really good. That
information.
looks good. That looks good. You're right. The bold was too heavy. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the rest of these. Okay, so back to our minutes. I want to come down to our agenda that I put down here. Well, maybe I put that in okay, so what we need to do today, I guess it was in my email. My apologies for that. We need to verify the memberships. So we talked about the membership levels. Here they are. So the free membership would be able to go through and look at anything, even browse courses, but they may have to pay more for anything that they want to take.
Sure.
There will be a higher fee if you're not a member for any course that you want to look at that's in the academy. So we'll have an academy that will have all of our previous things we've started, where members can go and peruse offerings that have already happened. Now we're having a global leader call where we have a team coming together to curate a few leaders to start with, because we're not going to be able to launch with 1,000 people offering their teachings.
Right.
We have to launch with some real quality leaders' teachings that we have looked at and agreed as teams that these are how we want to represent the council, the Global Grandmothers.
Who's going to be doing that, Mayan? I'm just
I'm
curious.
calling Circle. So it's a
Okay.
matter of who steps up.
You mean, Sandra, do you mean who's curating
Yeah,
the content?
that first round of, let's say, if we decide, you said academy, which is a great word, and I think that everyone who's on Facebook is interested in learning from each other. But who is
Right.
curating and vetting the initial offering, which would be, I guess, accessed on the website? Is that true?
Correct.
Right.
So and we need people to do that. We have not yet formed our core council. And it's me calling Circle. That's kind of where we are. Sharon is doing the mission and vision and values, and she'll have some input, and she probably will want to be a part of that. Suzanne is not able now because of her treatments that are starting.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's us, and there are some other people that are volunteering. I can share the volunteer list that I put together in a sheet, a Google document. I can share those volunteer forms that came in with you. And
I'm sorry. Yeah, we all got the application for volunteering and where we felt most pulled to. Okay, let's move on. I would love to volunteer to look at potential leaders and teachers and I'd like to bring this up for discussion if we can devote just a few minutes to it.
Mhm.
And that is a kind of philosophy which gets very meta spiritual. There's like Christ consciousness and Atlantean and galactic. And I wonder to what extent we are looking at those words, at those teachings, at those, some people call themselves mediums. And I think we have to be very careful with that direction of the global grandmothers, without getting into supernatural. There is some very grounded experience that we can draw from each other. And I'll give you one example. Out of the thousands, I just began a little pen pal with a woman in England who did something extraordinary. She donated a ton of money and her own expertise, like impoverishing herself, to create a hospital in Nepal. And she has the pictures to prove it. And she's got a lifetime of story, experience, including dealing with various communities that she had to deal with in order to get this done. And she got it done. That's someone I would love to learn from. As opposed to somebody, let's say, who calls themselves a channel or a vessel for supernatural wisdom, which is fine. But I want to caution us. I think that we need to cater to those women, and I've been on the Facebook every day since it was first started, and I'm seeing how valuable those women are. They, in terms of their groundedness, their connection to healing, learning, doing for the communities that they live in, and their expertise at communication, and just getting things done. That's the wisdom that we want to tap into. Does everybody understand where I'm getting at with this?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
I do too.
I do too, because it can be too random.
Yeah.
It can, choking. It could be all over the place.
Yeah.
And I know grandmother Sharon and grandmother Suzanne's purpose in starting this was about star essence, or star
What is that?
essence. That's
Well,
that we're
that's
all
an example.
elements from the stars. So maybe there's a category where multidimensional conversations can be in a category.
I'm nodding big on that.
Yeah.
I think that's a
When
starting point.
when I hear the star, what did you say it was again? Star
Star essence, that's how Sharon puts
essence. Okay, when I hear that, because of work that I've been doing and reading some like cosmologist Brian Swim, for example, when he talks about us being stardust, which is one of the name of one of my anointing oils, he's talking about how everyone living, from the tiniest thing to the biggest planet, all came from basically stardust. But he's not talking about anything that's esoteric.
Yes.
He's actually talking about physics, science, and cosmology.
Yeah.
And how, but then there's all the different aspects of that, all the different layers of consciousness that I want to say penetrates, but I don't know, that's not the right word. So I understand exactly what you're saying, and I feel that there's almost two different things that we're talking about. One is the Brian Swim kind of thing,
Yeah.
that we're all made up of all, and that's pretty magical, just being scientific fact. I mean,
Yeah.
whoa. And then there's how people maybe interpret that and how it comes through them. And
And there's
sometimes that's really valuable and they have a real connection. And sometimes you just don't know. And we don't have a way, unless we know personally these people, we don't necessarily know.
Right.
When you've got 50,000 women, and you.
Well, that brings up an interesting question. I was talking to Mayana about conversion. So out of the 55,000 that you have on Facebook, it will be very telling to see how many convert over to membership level free and then membership level $13.
Mhm.
And then the retention,
Yeah.
how long do they stay engaged? And what system is managing that? Is that something like Infusionsoft, Mayana? Something that's robust that can manage those statistics to tell you information? Whoever's building your website you should be asking those questions. Is like, what is the robust engine behind that website that is going to give you the statistics that you need to make decisions? And when you were talking about, different categories, I liked what Susan was saying. To me, that's everything in the quantum world. Everything from frequency medicine to, like you said, stardust to mathematics. But then there are the grandmothers I see that are into arts and crafts.
Yep.
And they're maybe not into the quantum. They just want to sell their little pot holders. So are you going to have a category called arts and crafts?
Yes.
Yeah.
With specialists in arts and crafts and weaving and
Yes.
quilting. And then you're going to have another category called health and wellness with whatever, and then a quantum category and, like the different categories that these
Yes.
speakers will go into these buckets that someone will then vet them. Like the afterlife. My friend Terry Daniel, who produces the Afterlife Conference, she always vetted the mediums and out. I mean, they would slew of them would come in there. And she's a professional herself that had to vet them.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is that all going to happen?
So I have two models here for ways of categorizing that I brought through. This one came specifically for the grandmothers, that we have different, the learning is different than the guidance. Learning is, I want to go to the academy and learn. Guidance is, I'm offering personal training and guidance for your life. Wisdom would cover many categories: artistry, culture. So this is one. And the other is, let's see if it does it this, nope, that's not it. Sorry. That wasn't it.
Well, this one, Mayana, when I look at this, it feels too broad. For me, there's too many choices. It's like my head spins. It's like, I don't know where to go,
Maybe just 4 buckets. I mean,
something.
And then they can be divided up within that category.
Yeah, because I don't know, what does anybody else think?
Let's see, I wrote down.
4 directions. Yeah, I agree. You had,
Like shaman, could be like arts and crafts. One is shaman studies. One is health and wellness. One is quantum, big buckets like that.
So arts and crafts, say those again, Carol.
Arts and crafts, health and wellness, quantum, and there was a 4th one. I can't remember what I said. It was a good one. Does anybody remember what I said?
well, you had shamanic in there, but I think that's quantum.
Oh, ceremonies.
That's quantum.
Ceremonies.
Huh, that's interesting.
That's something we definitely want to bring through, is like the different ages of a human, that we need to have ceremonies for the shifting from one age to the next, recommendations for that. Like an 8-year-old boy on his first vision quest, and a girl who's just having her first period, and the grandmother,
like modern day bat mitzvah.
kind of.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what all indigenous cultures did to honor.
Okay,
different
okay,
transitions
okay. We
in
can
life.
think of a million examples. I'm not rushing, but I can only give that out,
I
right?
appreciate it.
So just to say, these are categories. Mayana, you also talked about learning as opposed to guidance, which would be connected to these different buckets. So if I like those, I like arts and crafts, health and wellness, quantum, and ceremonies. Do we want to each uh, do 2 or 3 sentences that might describe what each of those buckets would be? Or do we want to now discuss how learning is different from guidance and how we would use language for that in the website? And I agree with what everybody is saying. I'm just trying to keep
Hey, Sandra, what's the next choice? What's the third choice? One
learn.
choice was do sentences. The other choice was distinction between learning and guidance. But on Mayana's agenda, what's the next item? It had something to do with membership
Oh, yes.
and regions. Mayana, remember we were talking about
Yes.
regions and we were
Yeah.
talking about how to have distinction.
Yes.
If someone wanted to come in at $33 and say, hey, I want to be a, what do you call them? A group leader? I forget what you're calling them, a community leader
Yes.
in
Right
my
now, we're
town.
using group leader.
Okay,
I'm
so I
trying-
want to be a group, I want to be a group leader in my town. So then, Sandra, I was saying to Mayana yesterday, okay, so I live in Ojai. So let's say I want to be a group leader in Ojai. Are you going to protect my territory, so to speak?
Yeah.
You know, and because we're using the internet, everything crosses over. So somebody from Phoenix could get a hold of me and say, I want to be in your group, but you're in Phoenix, so I have to send her, or I have to go and like say, go send her to the Phoenix person, the Phoenix group leader. And then she says, but I like more what you're offering. I don't know. I'm just, what are we doing about all that?
We have not touched any of that yet.
Right.
So right here, right now, we need the thing we need to get finalized first is the membership levels.
Yep.
So the membership levels and what people get. This is what we've put together after our meeting last week. This is what came together for that.
So the free gets you entry and you can browse.
Yes.
And we require name, general location, email. Okay, so everybody agrees that the free is a good category for membership.
Mm-hmm.
Explorer option. So that needs language to describe it as people enter the gateway of the website.
Correct.
But we can get to that. How about this $13 membership? What we'd spoken of, and I think, Carol, you were not here last time, but this is what we spoke of. Basically, these 3 levels to begin with, and then the idea that we could always add. We discussed as well these kinds of how we would use the income stream and what percentages go back to the group for maintenance, to the maker or the service provider, and how much is tithed to support grandmothers in need. And I feel like that that did a good job without crossing my eyes about numbers too much and going into big numbers like One Divine gave us initially. How do y'all feel
Yeah.
about those 3 levels?
I agree. I think
I think it's good. They're good. They're good.
And I like being able to offer the $33 for the marketplace and the coursework. So you can have an event, you can have a class, or you can have a little store for your group.
But can I charge for it, my class?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so that's the next conversation after we have the membership levels, is the percentages that go to the grandmothers for your courses and your goods. And we talked about for goods that should be a minimal percentages to the grandmothers and majority of the money going to the person offering the goods, and because they have raw materials to create the goods and they have costs associated with that. So the percentage to the grandmothers would be minimal on that. And we talked about a 20%, and we talked about 30%, and we talked about 11.
I
So,
think someone might want to research Poshmark. So let's say Poshmark, everybody know what that is?
Vaguely.
It's a website that you can go to and buy clothing and things and home decor, really expensive. And there's little stores on there. So in other words, I could open up a store on Poshmark and put my clothes and put my jewelry and put my doilies and put my whatever on Poshmark. They don't take much, but somebody needs to research what their parameters are to have a store on there.
We don't want to be responsible for that kind of, it seems to me, infrastructure that has to do with
Correct.
taking money. That has to be an already established Stripe organization, or, I mean, I know.
we're using
Go
we're
ahead.
using
Who's gonna
We're-
take the money? Who takes the money?
we're using Stripe, and it would be like a Facebook marketplace.
Right.
Where just a percentage goes to Stripe from the sale, but the artist or the grandmother, whatever the goods are, they are responsible for everything. They have to ship it, they have to
Track it.
track it, they have to put their pictures up and make their little storefront. They'll have a
And they have to
template to do that.
communicate, they have to communicate with the buyer,
Yeah,
Yes,
it sounds like, Poshmark sounds kind of like Etsy.
something like that. It's
I
like
have an,
that.
I have an Etsy shop.
So
Yeah.
didn't we say, though, that the maker or the seller is also going to be giving a percentage to GGCN?
yes. So
And
every
Responsible for that. I mean, that's the stream that I'm interested in, beyond giving the percentage to Stripe. The seller has to figure out how she's sending it, mailing it, et cetera, but she's also giving $10 out of her 80 or whatever we said for $100 product to GGCN. And I'm not sure how that gets figured out. I don't know.
Well, to me, I'm hearing there has to be an honor system, and that does not sound great.
No.
Yeah.
No, from what I understand with One Divine, that can be set automatically, that anything that goes through this percentage goes through Stripe to us.
So that's what we're paying One Divine for, is to
Yes.
figure out and help us to make those differentiations and those little tithes, those little fees, and that they are very transparent and
Yes.
describe really well to our makers and sellers. And that's not my forte. And I don't think it's any of our forte. I think we
No.
have to go with what's already been established. Stripe is terrific. But if One Divine is knowledgeable about how to explain what percentages go where, that's something that we should ask her to do for us. And then what we're responsible for is coming up with language that describes our buckets, describes the differences, like we talked about, learning guidance, what is an academy? And then she's responsible for making that beautiful little finger that was touching on the button. I love that, Mayana.
Oh,
It's like,
thanks.
yeah, that was you maybe.
Yeah.
So that we don't get, because there is a little bit of deadline involved here. And I take your point, Carol, that's a really good point. How many of the 55K are going to convert, as you say, come over to the website, and how do we introduce it? Is it a grand opening? Is it like you've been doing, Mariana, big announcement?
Yes. We'll have a launch. We'll have formalized launch and posts we can do. And we're starting next week. We're starting the weekly Zooms where people get together, and we'll be sharing in those weekly Zooms. Everyone who leads a Zoom will have a spiel that they say that's standardized. So here's what we're doing. Here's where we are. Please give here. Please give there. They're free Zooms, but please donate. That has to be a part of it.
Wait, what are we donating to? That doesn't sound.
To the GoFundMe for the website to fund our program. We're just inviting people to donate. We're offering a lot of things for free in this Facebook group. We're not selling. We're not doing
Right,
anything.
but aren't we getting away from the Facebook group, like little inch by inch, getting away from that Facebook group? Or is that going to always be the funnel?
It's going to
That
always
gonna
be
be
the
the funnel
Mm-hmm.
that somebody's gonna manage the Facebook always to make it
Yes.
interesting, and then it'll funnel and invite people over to the website.
Yes, and things on the website will be shared. Like this class is going on, it'll be shared on the Facebook group, and that will bring people into membership that aren't members yet. What some of our wisdoms can be shared in the Facebook group also, and invite people into the website. Sandra?
Right, and they have to see what the value of that $13 membership is, because I know
Right.
myself, I joined something for $5 here and $7 there, and then I forget. And then, do you know what I mean? And then I don't take advantage of whatever it is, and then it's lost, the money. So you don't want to become one of
Sandra?
those.
I think Facebook is brilliant as the funnel for all of our thousands. So I want you to walk me through this, Mariana. Let's say I want to interview this woman, and I want a limited Zoom, and I'm going to use for now, because I'm not aware of a company Zoom, the Global Grandmother Zoom, we're going to invite some people from around the world. She happens to live in England, so we'd have to get a time where everybody could come. I would do a brief description of who she is and maybe some pictures. We'd say this is an hour long. You'd give me graphics and a way for people to donate. And we're doing this on a voluntary basis so people can donate to Global Grandmothers.
Yes.
Is there, and I have not yet told you when my times are that would be good for the Zoom, but is there a one sheet that you have done besides offering it to people, anybody, that describes what this is? Because I think this is brilliant, and I think it uses the globalness of Facebook and the ease of Zoom, which we're all, since COVID, we all know how to use it, to tease, to invite people to the website. And then we've got to have some, I don't know, when are these Zooms starting? Is it matching up with the soft opening of the website? Can we then direct people there? So that's my question to you, Mariana. Talk me through where this happens.
I have a first planning meeting for the group of Zoomers. My greatest skill is in calling and creating the space for people to gather. I don't have all the wisdom for all the little details, and I know that. That's why I need people like you guys to bring this. So on Friday, we're having our first Grand Zoomers planning session.
Wait, is that at 3? Is that at
Yes.
3 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where we will develop exactly what we want. I can create graphics in Canva. Other people can join the Canva and create graphics, and we can agree on a standardized thing. I would expect that we have the meeting on Friday, and we have one more meeting, and then we launch the Zooms, and that would align with our 9/9 soft launch. And at the 9/9, and we'll have graphics from One Divine before that. to use. She's creating all these branding things for us to use that'll be easy templates to fill in on our Zooms. And the groups, each one of us as a leader will have our own perspective to bring to the Zoom, and we want to honor that, but we want to have a standardized
Yep.
process.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. That
And
sounds,
no, I have not put it in writing yet. I could work on that.
that's how I learn auditory, and then I like to look at the language for it. But that seems very exciting to me, and a way to both standardize and customize what we're offering everyone, which is the, you know, the miracle of this technology that we're using, and the fact that we can really gain value from those kinds of interactions. In terms of Ojai versus Phoenix, I don't know. I mean, we had been thinking about watersheds or regions. I think we ought to pause the sort of in-person aspect, and just look at the online. And I don't know, the internet is free. I don't know how we protect the so-called leaders who have Ojai. I think it comes down to, I mean,
Maybe
I
there
know
is
that
no protecting. Maybe
there
there is
is
no
no-
Yeah,
border.
I
There
don't
is
get
no
why that has to
region.
be an
there
issue.
is, there's only what the market raises, who rise to the top as, oh, I want to go to her Zoom, or I want to learn from her, or I know that she gave me value. And that will happen, it seems to me, over time, if we keep the Facebook as vibrant and as vetted as we can, and then we develop this way to sell. I mean, it is a way to sell for the website. And we don't draw back from, yes, we're charging memberships, and here's what you get for your membership, but leave it as simple as possible in terms of the buckets and the methods. So buckets meaning what we're selling, and I use selling in quotes, and how we're delivering it. And I'm still a little unclear, Mayana, about what the differentiation is between learning and guidance. But I think these things will become clear as we learn from each other, and as we give, what each of us are good at.
And one thing that's coming right now is, we've been living in a world of competition
Yeah,
and conflict, and we are moving away from all of that. So if there are two circles in one area, they might join together, they might not. There might be different ideas, and that there's room for everybody.
Right.
There's room for us all. There's enough to go around.
absolutely. We're coming up on 10 minutes to the hour, and I like the job. I like being a timekeeper. So what I want to put out there is what's our homework for the next meeting?
Well, we haven't gotten to the watersheds and the all of that. So we have the percentages that we need to really come to concise agreements on, and
Language to describe, right? Language to describe.
language to describe the memberships, listed clear the benefits of each membership level, bulleted rather than paragraph, I'm sure.
Good, good.
And we should have a little discussion about the fee structure for the classes in the academy. And
There was one question, I can't remember, it came through in an email or something, and it had to do with, should people who are in the free membership be able to purchase from the marketplace on the website? And first of all, I'm like, of course. Because first of all, you know, everything that they purchase on the website, a percentage of it is going to go towards the grandmothers, towards the
Right.
council. So we want to encourage that as much as possible. And if they're buying as a free member, they're going to pay a higher, slightly higher or whatever price than if they choose to have even just the lowest cost monthly membership.
Yes, I like that.
So I don't know about that, who asked that question or why it was, but my feeling was, well, of course they can buy anything they want. You know, it's, and we should encourage that. And then,
Yes.
they'll see, well, if I actually paid $13 a month, then I would be paying this much less for this product or this workshop. And so then they may decide to join.
Right. And it just makes sense at that point.
Yes.
Like, well, of course I'll be a member because the membership is so valuable.
Right.
We want them to go, oh, wow, I want this. I want this.
So then there would need to be, okay, what's the percentage that paid members get versus free members as far as workshops and goods and services or whatever you want to call it?
Well, maybe we could just have a 10% markup or an 11, people like the number 11, an 11.
And it's really easy to deal with.
Yeah.
I like it being easy. Math is not my thing.
So
Can you
let's
please
see.
put your email into the chat so I can share our minutes with you? It's a rolling doc.
Oh, me? Were you speaking?
Carol,
Oh, Carol. Okay.
Oh, into the chat, okay.
thank you. And you're gonna get an invitation to our rolling minutes doc.
That we're each editing with our own thoughts and
Yes, and one thing I wanted to ask, because some people said share, well, somebody said Sharon here or whatever, and I didn't do that. I just
Oh.
put my stuff in. Do you
Yeah.
want us to identify ourselves when we put a note or suggestion in there? Mayana, would that make it easier?
I think it would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. And I
You
didn't do
know,
that
I would
either.
I would be so interested to know how many of these grandmothers are still working? How many of them are in commerce of any kind? Or how many are just really nice grandmas that have
Yeah.
grandkids and play with their grandkids and you know, that's just a category. But how many are engaged with you know, a life science, like they're still a professor or they're like, what's their education level?
I
mean,
have probably 450 people who have applied in one form or another and given information. That we have some real serious professionals here.
Yeah.
There are many in here that have high skills and are beginning to step up. Some of them are still working and volunteering also. We just had a new volunteer who is a media person for one of the tribes and a casino.
It's just interesting to find out what the demographic is of the members. And because those speakers are going to want to know, those professional speakers, Mayana, if they're professional speakers, they have valuable time. You know, time is valuable. And so if they're going to give an offering of some nature, unless it's one of the canned ones that sometimes they do, just like a canned presentation, if they're going to do a live thing, they want to know that they have an audience that's wanting what they have to offer. I don't know. The demographic is interesting.
Well, and I don't know that we have a way to get that from Facebook. Only
No,
as
you
people
probably
tune
can't.
in.
You won't until you're a member, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once you're a member, then you would feel more comfortable even divulging anything like that.
And I've had a bunch who are willing to divulge their information, and I'm really grateful for that. And I've put it in spreadsheets, and they're in our Google Docs. And I'll make sure if I haven't, but I have not shared the spreadsheets of people because
No, don't do that
I'm
yet.
concerned
I don't.
about
Yeah.
privacy. You know,
Yeah,
so I
I
haven't.
wouldn't. Yeah,
But
I
I'm
don't
the
need
only
to
one
s-
that has access to it too.
No, I'm just more
So-
curious, you know, as you keep building this out and you're going to be looking for customers within the grandmother base, how many of them are on fixed incomes? You know, how many can afford anything outside of something
Well,
free?
we can look at the demographics as we go. I know we're running out of time here now.
Okay, okay.
Um, can we talk just a little bit about this fee structure for classes?
Mhm.
Um, we had a real minimal discussion about it last week, and I explained about my idea on the marketplace there on the paragraph above it. But for classes, what are your thoughts about the percentages? I put 60-40, but maybe I don't. What are your thoughts?
My
Well,
initial thought, sorry to jump in, is that my initial thought is that it's free except for a donation request. Maybe it's a ticket that goes right to the grandmothers, right to the council, that we don't start charging until the dust is settled. I mean, because I go to plenty of free Zooms, be they political, be they, you know, free learning. There's a ton of that out there. And if we start charging in addition to the membership, we might turn off some women. We might turn off some people who can't afford a lot.
right, and I think you'll lose some people.
I think so. I think we can afford, out of the miracle that this has been, at least in the initial phases, to offer an array of courses that have to do with, and this will come clear on Friday, right, Mayana? With
Mhm.
our expertise and with our providing women beyond what the subject matter is, with a meeting place, with a place to be, to listen, to share. And I'm sure we're going to talk about it. Is there a limit to who comes in? That's my suggestion, that we not charge a speaker fee or a class fee initially, but simply, I don't know, and we can even talk about a $5 donation to the council itself. What do you think about that?
I think that's good unless somebody wants to offer a more in-depth course. And then it would make sense that that would be treated more as a product, you know,
Right.
like a physical product, maybe with a different fee structure going towards the grandmothers. But basically I agree. I agree. I would certainly be willing to do something like that on, I don't know what yet, but I definitely could see doing that because there's advantages to the people who do that with this group. And then if there's a lot of interest in that particular workshop or discussion, then the teacher then could think, well, maybe I would like to offer a course that would cover this, 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 and this. And then there would be like, you know, then it would actually be something somebody knew what they were going to be getting, what they were going to be learning.
And
There,
you'd want to pay for it. You'd want to pay
yes,
for it. So
yes,
the initial would be a teaser or an introductory to.
yeah,
And I feel like anyone who has been approved to teach classes and offerings, they have to provide something free. That there has to be a gift that they're giving, that for the $13 membership that they're giving, that they're not charging anyone for it. And after the fact, maybe they would go into a category where free members could see it later.
yeah.
You know, we need to be able to provide enough content that's free and enough content for the 13 that it's valuable to the $33 ones who are presenting.
And I like the idea, somebody floated, I don't know if it's in these minutes or what, but that somebody floated for, people who sell physical stuff, having at least one thing that is branded with the grandmother's brand.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
I was
that
thinking,
was
oh
yours.
yeah, I could do that. You know, I had all these little ideas that I could come up with that aren't what I would sell on Etsy, or not the kind of putting it together that it go, you know what I mean? Something
Yes.
specifically for the grandmothers that would be at a reasonable price. You know, that kind of thing. I think that that's a really wonderful idea.
And that would fill our storefront, the grandmother's storefront,
Mhm.
which is separate from the marketplace.
Right. And one thing, I mean, when you do talk to One Divine about the website, I don't know. I wanted to be a part, I can't be a part of every meeting that I'd like to be a part of, but across the top of the website, most, especially nonprofits, there's the home page, then there's About Us, and there's often information about the founding members or the director or whatever, the individual people. I mean, not like hundreds of us, but just so
Right.
that, and I often click on that because sometimes I actually know some of these people. And even if I don't, I'm curious. So
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if there's going to be something like that on our website.
I would hope so. I will talk to her about that. We haven't gotten too far into the website part of it, that formation yet. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Ah, I
Okay.
want to offer the time. It's now 3:01. Shall we end, Miana, with a moment of your
Let-
leading us through a brief meditation and a
Yeah.
last share, or however you'd like to do it?
Yeah, let's take a deep breath together. Breathe in and hold it. And let it go. Know that we are one heart and one mind, and our intention is pure and divine for this work that we are doing in the world that is growing, that we are just discovering as it grows what it is and what it looks like, and that we aren't that we are nourishing what is growing. We are seeing and enjoying and appreciating every little aspect that we see that we had not seen before. And today we have come through some words and discussions that will be formalized in the writing in the days to come. And I really appreciate all of your time and all of your wisdom, and value that we are doing this together, and that it's not one person's job to do anything, but we are teaming, and we're teaming with life. And thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Mayana and Susan and Sandra.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful
Bye-bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.